almost the end of the second quarter. We're only a week away. Now, the first quarter GDP, Goldman Sachs, in their annual forecast, thought we were going to do 5%. Now, I thought we were going to do 6% because we had the stimulus that came out just after the Goldman's forecast, and I knew that we were going to have a lot more money than what Goldman knew about because they probably didn't have that. It wasn't me, it was just the fact the stimulus is coming out. And we actually did 6.4 for the first quarter of 2021. And it's getting even better. So the economy is doing really well. There's jobs absolutely everywhere. There's movement around the country. People are moving to where the economy is good. The great markets of Florida, Texas, and Arizona are just going gangbusters. So let's go to that first slide and we'll talk about what we're seeing. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing that we've talked about money supply. We've talked about the fact that money supply is at a historic level. Now, you know that when we came into recession from the COVID, that the Federal Reserve and the Treasury got together and they just liquefied the entire system. Look at this spike. Now, you're going to see this spike all through all our slides. It's in absolutely every asset class and all of our data. And here it is in money supply. This is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that are available for projects. So there's no monetary constraint whatsoever. We're at historic levels. We've got trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars looking for a place to get a return on investment. Now, they're fairly benign. They're fairly benign. You don't get inflation if there's no movement, there's no velocity. So you can have lots and lots and lots of money sitting around, but when that money starts getting used, that's when you start seeing a monetary inflation. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing all kinds of projects. Industrials, manufacturing is just going gangbusters, and it's a global phenomenon. It's not just here, it's all across the globe. We've been talking about the fact that the G7 got together and they decided they're going to monetize the debt through inflation. And they put out all this money supply, and once this money supply gets going, then you start seeing inflation. So let's go to the next slide. Now, we're going to talk about the fact that Goldman Sachs, they came out. Now, they had the unfortunate timing that they came out with their forecast, and right after they came out with the forecast, we got the stimulus check. They thought we were going to do a 5%. Now, keep in mind, presidents pray for a 3% print in any quarter in their entire presidency, and here we are, first right out of the box. Goldman Sachs thought we were going to get 5. I thought we were going to get 6. Follow my work. I thought we were going to do well into the 6s. We actually came out 6.4% GDP for the first quarter. Now, Goldman Sachs thought it was going to be 8.5 for the second. Again, I thought they were being conservative, and this is the consensus. Consensus thought it was only 3.6. They thought it was 8.5, double what consensus is. And at the moment, at the Atlanta Fed, their GDP now is tracking between 10.3 and 10.5. So we're going to get double digits. We only have another week, and the second quarter is over. So congratulations, Goldman Sachs. What a great performance for the economy. 10.3 means all kinds of jobs are available. You can't go anywhere and not see help wanted signs. It's virtually everywhere. Now, manufacturing is doing really well. Industrials are doing really well. IT is doing really well. Construction is doing really well. Banking is doing really well. My industry, real estate industry, is just doing incredibly well. So in the great markets of Florida, Texas, and Arizona, we can't get enough housing for the people that are moving and coming to get the opportunities that these markets present to themselves. So let's go to the next slide. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about inflation. So once you have this money supply, and you get people starting to use it, you can see them starting to use it because the GDP is over 10%. We're into double digits that you start getting a velocity of money. In other words, people are starting to buy, and that money starts getting used. So all that money has been sitting in the banks. Now, keep in mind, the money supply can sit in the banks. You have trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in reserves. And if it never gets used, you get absolutely no inflation at all. Once that money starts being used, you start getting inflation and you start seeing money going into the economy. It starts to inflate the economy. And look at this spike. Look at this spike. You're going to see this spike every time we look at one of the data prints. We see this spike because this is the Federal Reserves and the central banks around the globe and all the G7 nations. They're doing it with their fiscal policy. They're doing it with their monetary policy, and they are making a global inflation. This is how they control debt. This is how you get everybody working. But keep in mind, when inflation comes along, it deflates your debt. Now, it inflates real assets. We talked about that in my last video. If your assets go up by 4 times and your debt stays the same, that means your debt's only 25%. You've done absolutely nothing to the debt other than inflate the assets. Then all of a sudden that debt becomes very, very manageable. That's being done on a global basis. We just had the G7. They come out, they're spending money they don't have, which is going to drive all the asset prices up because they're real assets. They have real intrinsic value. And this is just a shift in the marketplace. You need to be aware of this. Now, let's go to my next slide. We'll talk about this even a little further. Oh, look at, I love this slide. This again is another zero head slide. When in your lifetime have you ever seen used cars go up in value? Used cars are a real asset. Now, whenever I bought a car, I'm going to tell you, I've always lost money on it. It just depreciates. Not so much in the last year and a half, because look at, have we seen this spike before? Look at this spike in prices for secondhand used cars are just skyrocketing. And again, there's a little bit of shortage on value on vehicles. We got a shortage of chips. We got a shortage of manufacturing, which of course then puts a demand on cars. But also it's inflating things. There's lots of money around. Money's easy to get. Loans are easy to get. Rates are down. And it's just plentiful. There's just money supply absolutely everywhere. We're seeing a monetary surge, and it's global in nature. Let me make this perfectly clear. It's global in nature. And you need to protect your purchasing power. We talked about the fact that all of the big corporations are buying up single-family homes across the country. Not all of the corporations, obviously, ones in the housing. They're doing it for cash flow and purchasing power preservation. You need to do this too. So let's go to my next slide. We'll talk about that one. If you don't have a house, you got to go get one. I don't care if you make 30 or 40 offers. You need to go get a house for yourself. A single family home is probably the best inflation hedge the average person can have. Just think about the components. There's lumber, there's concrete, there's oil and asphalt, there's lumber, there's copper and aluminum and labor. We all know what's going on in labor. Labor costs are just skyrocketing. Anyone that's got skilled labor, construction in the great markets of Florida, Texas, and Arizona, construction workers are doing really, really well. They're getting plenty of hours. They're getting very good pay. And of course, as their pay goes up, the price of the houses go up, the components go up, and existing homes go up right along with it. And it preserves your purchasing power. These homes are going to go up all across the country. So every little hamlet and village and small town, they're going to do well too. But in the great markets of Florida, Texas, and Arizona, these prices are going to go even more. We're seeing a 3% price increase each month. Now I have people say, well, you know, the prices are going up really fast. I'm a little afraid. Yeah, they're probably extraordinary. I think we're going to start slowing down and go back to normal. It's just going to go back to normal. But I don't see prices slowing down, and you want to buy in a market that's appreciating. You certainly don't want to buy in a market that's depreciating. You want to buy in a market where prices are going up. So when you buy that house that's going up, you want good odds your house is going to go up after you buy it. So you want, when prices are going up, that's when you want to buy it. Not when prices are going down. That would be silly. We don't want to do that. So there's really good opportunities virtually everywhere. Rates are still very, very compelling. Now, we've talked about the fact that a lot of REITs are buying up American single-family homes, and you're competing with them. You need to get out there and go ahead and make markets. You need to try and get a house, get into the marketplace, make offers. If you have to make 10, 20, 30, 40 offers, go do that. Get yourself a single-family home. If you're my age, go get a couple of rentals. Just 2 rentals going to make a change in your life. Now you're going to need to preserve your purchasing power, and 2 rentals are going to be a big difference for you on your income. It's going to be able, whether you're going to live well or live like a pauper. And we're going to live a lot longer than you think you're going to live. You know, medical science has come so far, most of us are going to live to the mid-80s, if not into the mid-90s, and women have a good shot of living into the low 100s. So you might be retired for 40 or 50 years, so you're going to need a lot of money or an asset that continually gives you income for yourself. So go buy a single family home. And if you're my age and your kids are struggling and you know how hard it is to come up with the down payment sometimes, help them out with the down payment. You know, give them a hand. This is what we're here to do. Let's make sure that we take care of the generations that are following us. If I can help in any way, you're welcome to reach me. Let's talk about my next slide. This is fun. I'll enjoy this. This is where I get to ask you to give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe. It really, really helps us with our marketing. Again, I'm an author. Real Estate Investing for Beginners is going to take you by the hand as if you know nothing and take you through a lot of the pitfalls, a lot of reasons to do this. We're going to try and motivate you to do this so that you can start buying properties for yourself. The Money Machine is my business plan my wife and I put together. We executed and really, really worked well for us. That's available everywhere in the world. Real Estate Investing for Beginners really is just available at Amazon at the moment, which just published, a couple months ago. So if you need me, you are welcome to reach me at Michael@michaeldeville.com. I'm here to help you in any way I possibly can. We have a great staff here. If you want to talk to your financial advisor, we are more than happy to talk to your financial advisor, your spouse, your Uncle Eddie. We'll talk to whoever it is. We're very, very good at purchasing properties. We're really, really good at getting you properties that the cash flow and are in a path of growth. So we have a very, very strict protocol for acquisition, and we'll help you every way we possibly can. My very, very best to you.